It's another Mike and Mike Twitter view.
He's to left field. How far is this one going to go? Evan Longoria with a monster blast.
Today, we go 140 characters or less with Rays third baseman Evan Longoria.
All right, the superstar is with us here, and again, your chance. We've been taking your Twitter questions all morning long, and we will ask them to Evan Longoria, good enough to join us now on the Subway Fresh Take Hotline. Good morning, Evan.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Well, it is our pleasure.
Yeah, appreciate you doing this again for some on-field questions and the fun off-field questions.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get to those in a second. But before we do that, as you're probably aware, Will Ferrell, the hilarious actor, is scheduled to play in 5 different spring training games today. He's on the roster of 10 different teams. He's doing it to raise awareness for Stand Up to Cancer, which is terrific. But do you have any advice for Will Ferrell, who is a comedian and an athletic guy, but certainly not a baseball player, for him as he tries to play every position on the diamond today?
I would say the only piece of advice that I have for him is it's the only real piece of advice that I try to live by when I go out on the field every day, and that's to just try not to embarrass myself. So, it's the game is tough enough as it is. So I'm sure he's going to go out and have fun and probably embarrass himself. That's probably the goal for him. So. Maybe I would just say that the opposite of that.
Well, he's going to be in your world, but a couple of years ago, I believe, you were in his world when you interviewed the whole crew from Anchorman 2. So how was that, getting involved with those comedians?
It was actually really fun, man. They were really welcoming and gracious with their time. The whole scene was pretty crazy because there was so many. It was like a media day for everybody, so they had like a ton of other outlets there, and they were kind of trying to usher everybody in and out really quickly, and they actually let me hang out for a little bit longer and ask a couple more questions, and a few of them are really big baseball fans, so it was fun to kind of get to talk with them outside of the questions that I had, and also very funny. I mean, the content, the edited content didn't really do justice what all of the stuff that we ended up getting.
All right, I'd like to see the original tape. Mike and Mike, let's get to the Twitter view. Again, we've been taking Twitter questions for you all morning long, and here we go. From Sydney Sapaglia, what is your best non-baseball way to spend your time during spring training?
With my family, man. I have a new 4-month-old son and 2-year-old daughter. So when I'm not on the field, I like to try and go back home and spend that time with them.
Oh, congratulations! How's the sleeping situation? 4 months. How's their sleeping situation right now?
Man, I gotta say thanks to my wonderful fiance. They're back in St. Pete. I'm in Port Charlotte, so I'm sleeping okay, and she's struggling there. So I feel terrible, but I guess I gotta. She says I gotta bring home the bacon, so I gotta work, and she gets stuck with the bad sleep nights.
I'm with you there. My first kid was born at the beginning of a football season, and it's amazing how many times I had to go early to the locker room to get a little extra sleep. This one from Tommy on the field. He wants to know, who's the toughest pitcher you ever had to face?
Man, they just get better and better every year. I would say for me, the guy that probably had the best numbers against me, I think, was Andy Pettit, especially early on in my career. And probably the least fun to face is, I don't know, Yu Darvish or Max Scherzer, a couple of them.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Darvish getting a second opinion, but maybe having to go face the Tommy John. Mike and Mike, Evan Longoria, the Twitter view. This one is from Sack King's Cowbell. Who was your baseball idol growing up?
Ken Griffey Jr. I grew up, in Los Angeles, and so I don't know, for whatever reason, I didn't see a whole lot of Seattle Mariners games growing up, but I love the kid.
This from Jason. What's the best prank anyone played on you in the clubhouse or in the dugout?
Oh, man.
That could be said on air.
Yeah. We'll keep these family friendly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's pretty family friendly. It's not very family friendly, but let's just say I ended up with an animal head in my locker, and it didn't smell too great. So
Okay.
it It was rough, and I actually didn't even do the initial prank that I got the retaliation for. So, but I was a rookie, or I was actually second-year guy, so it was early on.
That's quite a welcome. Mike and Mike, Evan Longoria. Here's a more serious one. Kerry, what can Major League Baseball do to bring the attendance? Attendance has been shrinking since its height in 2007. Obviously, everyone is aware that in Tampa there's a long-standing trouble with attendance. So what can baseball do to help bring more fans to the ballpark?
I don't know. I feel like there's a disproportionate relationship between the revenue that baseball is bringing in and the actual attendance, because I feel like the game of baseball is continuing to grow. The popularity of the sport is growing both nationally and internationally, and so I don't know. I think some of the things that may help. I mean, I know that the Rays do this already. They allow people to bring their own food and park for free, and some of those things I think could definitely help other clubs maybe bring more people to the park. And I think the most important thing is continuing to reach out to the youth of America, and the world, really, because I mean the game is obviously continued. The tradition is continued by the kids. So, just keeping them involved and trying to get them to want to come out to the ballpark and watch baseball games, I think, is very important.
By the way, the Rays home opener, April 6th, hosting Baltimore.
Yeah, again, this is Evan Longoria doing our Twitter view. This from Jared. Obviously, you spent some years with Joe Madden, no longer there, now with the Cubs. What was one of the craziest things Joe did as manager in Tampa?
I think just implementing the themed trips. In the beginning, we all really didn't know what to think of them, and then I think over time they kind of just caught on, and guys really embraced them and really went to some pretty incredible lengths to get their costumes or their wardrobe together. So it was always fun to see over the years what guys would come up with when we had one of those theme trips.
What would be a theme, just for people that may not know, what would be a theme trip that you took?
For every year we'd go to Miami, we'd wear all white. So, it would be kind of like a Miami Vice type theme. And we had one of the trips we went to Seattle, and we had like a grunge theme. So guys were wearing like cut off jean vests and, just hold corduroy pants and Birkenstocks. And I mean, we had a tuxedo trip. We've had pajama trip. We had all kinds of different wear your favorite hat trip. I mean, there was an infinite number of possibilities, and so it was fun to see guys go out and actually get costumes or props for these things.
He's a character, Joe Madden. We love him.
Adults playing a kid's game, huh?
Absolutely. And this was a lot of fun. Evan, you're a good sport. Thanks a million for being a part of this with us today. We appreciate it. Good luck as your season gets started.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks,
Evan Longoria with us, and all the Twitter questions to the 1-800-Flowers.com Twitter feed. Celebrate spring with a smile. Go to 1-800-Flowers.com/ESPN for flowers and gifts starting at $29.99. The Twitter view, just a chance to get a little different look at
it's
an
good.
athlete.
Mix it in, some on the field stuff and off the field. I think he gave some great answers. Very, very.